because I don't understand what's going on still. And so now when I land, we get here, they ask me, hey, they processing me. They say, where was I born? I said, I was born in Würzburg, Germany. And she said, what? And I said, I was born in Würzburg, Germany. And she's like, so wait, you wasn't born in Lucy, Hanover in 1957? And I said, huh? She said, October
What?
15th,
Are you
1957. I
serious?
said, I said, no. I said, I wasn't born. I said, do I look like I was born in 1957? I said, ma'am, I said,
Whoa.
I have,
Also,
I said, ma'am, I have a birth certificate in my property. If you let me get it, and they let me get it, it's in German because it's a German. It's in
yeah.
German, so they can't even read it. So they're like, wait a minute. So they like, so then who's born in Lucy? So my dad, me and my dad don't have the same first name. You know what I mean? So and my dad was born in Lucy, Hanover, October 15th,
So
1957.
them, so them put
I
together
told
one.
them
That's
They
they
cook
put
up
together
some.
a
crazy,
They
travel
cook
man.
up
document.
something.
Got to sign some papers, and I walk in the office, and ICE, immigration, they just slammed the
Oh,
door. They were already in there and put me in handcuffs, and that's the last time I was ever free there.
Yeah.
And from there, I spent 9 months in immigration, almost 10 months before I was sent here. And yeah, coming here, I still didn't think I was gonna come here. My mother, they have friends and people like connections, and so they
so they
told the
thought they
people
could
down
do that.
here.
Oh,
No, they told him ahead of time, hey, they're trying to send my son there. Or they're trying to send my friend's son there. He's not born there. He doesn't have a birth paper there. He never been there before. So don't accept him because remember,
Mm-hmm.
Germany already denied me. They said, no, you can't get sent here as a punishment. Technically, Mr. Simpson, you're
a
not
German.
You're not
Jamaican, you're
German.
not German. They
Not
said you're
German, yeah.
stateless. They said you're
Mm-hmm.
actually stateless. You're from
Oh,
nowhere, basically. So they're telling me, so, if you got a lawyer, then Jamaica is probably not going to take you, and then so this should get sorted out. So in my head and in my parents' head, they're thinking,
So you just have to
okay,
sit there a little
we're
bit
good.
and then
Yeah,
sort it
right,
out. Yeah, yeah.
right. And that's when we filed the N-600 form to say that I was a citizen through my father, and they came back with it and said, nope, denied that.
no.
Right. So I was fighting for the 10 months trying to stay here. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, like some people, like the 10 months I was in there with immigration people, like I was amongst Jamaicans and I'm listening like a sponge because I don't know,
Learning.
these people are actually from Jamaica and they're on their way going back or they're fighting not to. And
Mhm.
the guys that were fighting, they were in there for 5 years fighting before they're like,
What?
oh well, 5 years now, and they sent them to Jamaica. Like that's how
Wow.
bad they didn't want to get sent back home. So I'm looking at this like, wow, I don't want to be locked up for another 5 years. So I'm like, let's speed up the process. I did a little research in the law library, and I was like, okay, so if they can't deport me within 180 days of a final order, they would have to let me out,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
right? It's kind of what they do with like the Cubans and the Haitians when they can't get travel documents for them after a certain amount of time, they let them out, but it's like an immigration parole, right?
Okay.
Oh.
At least I would have been with my family. So, and I wasn't trying to do 5 years. So me now, I speed up the process through the N600. They deny it. So I say, okay, I want to go. Send me where you're gonna send me, because I
Oh
already
wow.
know Germany said no. Jamaica now. I talked to the Jamaican consulate on the phone. He calls me for an interview. He asked me about. I told him everything. I wasn't born there. My parents, everything I told you guys. And he said, "Don't worry, Jamaica's not going to accept you."
Mm.
Remember, my parents and everybody, they got someone down here waiting for my documents so they could deny it.
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah.
document, they were waiting for 2 months and my document never came down here. A whole bunch of other documents came down here for everybody getting deported, but mine never came down here.
Oh wow.
I don't know why. But I do know, even when they woke me up in the middle of the night and was like, pack your stuff, I thought that it was the 180-day mark because I'm on my
Also, you thought
calendar
you was
like,
going
wow,
back
wait.
Oh, so you were
to
counting
Right.
down.
Jersey.
So I'm thinking they're saying, come on, you leaving. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
thinking they're saying, come on, you're going to Jamaica. So we get down to the processing, like where they process everybody. And I notice everybody down there is like Spanish or Hispanic and like just like a lot of different immigrants from different
Languages.
places. Right. And so I'm asking like, where we going? They said they taking us to Texas or Arizona. And then like we're going on a flight to Jamaica. And I'm like,
Wow.
So
Wait, the
my
Spanish people
mother,
are going to
my,
Jamaica too?
No, no,
no.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
they saying that they telling me I'm going to Jamaica, but everybody's going to their destination, to their country.
Okay, to different
Right,
places.
right. So it's like normally what happens is they oh sorry. Normally what happens is normally like people would get to go fly on a commercial plane. But for some reason I wasn't able to like fly on a commercial plane. I had to fly like on a government plane with a bunch of other people shackled
Oh,
up. So and I told you I didn't do anything violent, or I don't have a violent crime or violent history or anything like that. So, but something also that was strange was when I was leaving to go onto the plane to go to Jamaica, and we have to sign this paper, and I'm signing the paper, and the guard is like, hey, look right there. I want you to see what you're signing. It says lifetime ban. You can never come back. And he's like, wow, what did you
And
do?
that
wow.
was for a non-violent crime, correct?
And remember, like I never knew that was gonna happen. My parents,
Wow.
everybody's thinking, okay, after 5 years or maybe after this,
Come
that
back. Yeah.
you can file and come back or whatever, because you know what I mean. And that wasn't the case at the last second. And mind you, my mom, she doesn't even know that I'm being transferred to Jamaica. She's still waiting to hear from the consulate, because he said he wants to talk to my mom and dad, and the whole time he never called them. So when I sign this paper that says lifetime ban, and I'm in here with a bunch of others, like 41 Jamaicans on the plane, and we're coming down, and some of them been in there for 25 years and in there for violent things, and in their paper, they're telling me their paper said they could try back after 10 years, after
Wow.
5 years, and I'm
So see
wondering why. So
them definitely try
mentally,
to
I'm
railroad them.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I don't understand what's going on still, and so now when I land, we get here, they asked me, hey, they processing me. They said, where was I born? I said, I was born in Würzburg, Germany. And she said, what? And I said, I was born in Würzburg, Germany. And she's like, so wait, you wasn't born in Lucy, Hanover in 1957? And I said, huh? She said, October
What?
15th,
Are you
1957. I
serious?
said, I said, no. I said, I wasn't born. I said, do I look like I was born in 1957? I said, ma'am,
Whoa.
I have
Also,
I said, ma'am, I have a birth certificate in my property. If you let me get it, and they let me get it, it's in German, because it's a German. It's in
yeah.
German, so they can't even read it. So they're like, wait a minute. So they're like, so then who's born in Lucy? So me and my dad don't have the same first name. You know what I mean? So and my dad was born in Lucy, Hanover, October 15th,
So
1957.
them,
I
so them
told
put
I
together
told
one.
them
That's
They
they put
cook up
together
some.
a
crazy.
They
travel
cook up
document.
something.
Wow.
Right. Like I have I have a copy of that travel document, because while I was in Jamaica, I went to the immigration office, and I said, I want to go upstairs, and they said, what do you want? I said, I want to know how I entered this island. Like I want to know how I entered it. Everybody should be documented. I want that document. I want to see it again. And sure enough, it took the guy a long time to find it. Like I'm talking about like 3 hours I sat there and left and came back. And when he came out of the back with the document, he looked like he saw a ghost or
He
something. Like
started by it.
and he said because he said where he found it at, it was not to be found. So he told me he would start an investigation or something like that. But honestly, I kind of got scared. And when he did call me to come back, I didn't go, because like I was hearing so many different
There's no
stories. I
telling
didn't
what would
know it,
happen. Yeah.
because the same guy, the same consulate guy that forged that document with false information on there. I felt like, okay, that means this person is going to get in trouble, and I know they will do whatever to protect
To
each
be able to
other.
cover up.
And remember,
To be able
I'm
to
here
cover
by
up. Yeah.
myself. I'm not here with any family or anything like that. So I start thinking, survival wise, I'm not trying to fight anything, and that's where my fight kind of stopped. And
Oh,
because a lot of people feel like I gave up, but it's like the fight to try to go back home, and they turning me down, and then it's like it stopped me from living here. Like I was on pause the same way when I went to prison, like everything was
oh,
going, but
wow.
I'm not going. So it, like, it took a little while during that 14 years. I went through a lot of roller coasters, depression. I didn't take counseling. I didn't do anything. I kind of like, I rehabilitated myself. Like I got in tune with myself. I found out like about everything that's wrong with me, what I want to fix, and like feelings that I get on, how to counteract certain feelings when I'm depressed. So if I feel like I'm about to be sad, sometimes I could just turn on a certain genre of music, and no matter what, it's gonna.
Exactly.
So like I learned these different things because I never really took any like pills or medication. I didn't have any of that. So that's like something that built me into who I am today. Um,
Oh.
they always say, do what you got a passion for. So like I was here in Jamaica, now I'm here. I worked as security. I was in the clubs, working as security. I worked in the call centers. I tried to mesh and blend in with
Oh, but it
everybody.
wasn't your
And what
space.
happened is now,
It wasn't your
no,
passion.
it wasn't. Because one, I'm not speaking like everybody. So and and nobody believes my story at first. You know what I mean? They feel like I'm lying. People telling people that they saw my parents take me here when I was little. They saw me take me from Jamaica. They seen me like,
Ah,
and these people don't know. But that's just like what people were doing. So I had a lot of fight. A lot of people don't really know about that part because I wouldn't really show it unless
Mm-hmm.
I was doing security at that time. And security, you gotta have a mean face and be tough. So I was hiding behind that there, like being security. I would get into certain. I went through a lot of different things in that field of work, and I realized it's not enough money for me to put my life on the line.
Yeah.
When I'm walking in town and going to the market, and I hear people shouting threats, and I don't know who's saying it because of some party that I told you couldn't do this or you couldn't do that, and you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. I'm just trying to work like everybody else, so the money wasn't good. Even in the call center, like for me, that's why I had to do something to have a passion for. Most people, if you're doing something you don't like what you're doing, you're gonna complain about it every
And you're
day.
gonna be miserable.
ah,
Yeah.
true.
And what happens now is if it's nothing you have a passion for, it's gonna put you further away from your dreams or from anything, because a lot of people start to depend on this to survive, and their dreams are get pushed out
Push
of
them by
the
the
way.
side,
Like I
wayside,
kind
yeah.
of, yeah, it's like I don't know. Like I had to learn Jamaica by myself. I didn't really ask questions. I told you I'm an observant person. I absorbed a lot. I went to all 14 parishes. I took the bus for the whole day, and sometimes I would get off and just tell myself, if I'm gonna talk to one person, and you know what I mean, I get one phone number and 14 parishes. That means I know one person in each parish, and I took
Mm-hmm.
it from there.
Ah,
And like I
Wow.
said, it's 14 years I've been here, and a lot of guys that came here in similar situations, they're not here anymore. Not meaning that they got to go back or
they
they,
died.
they died, meaning they either went or killed themselves. I know a handful of guys that just wasn't strong enough. And I've also had people that heard my story and they come up to
Yeah.
me and they're like, my brother, if my brother would have met you, he'd be alive today, and
No,
Wow.
things
cause
like that.
yo,
So
it
stuff
takes
like
a lot
that
of
touched me,
mental
and
fortitude, bro. It takes a lot of mental
right.
fortitude
So
to
that's
go
why I
through those
couldn't break
things.
though.
Tenacity.
That's why I couldn't break. That's why I couldn't like give up. I couldn't like, and trust me, like a lot of people never knew, but like there was times where, like in a mental way, like I felt like I was losing my mind, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody know that, and it's like I'm juggling, and so when like I know about mental illness out here now and everywhere else, like I see how they treat it, and I see people who call people madman or they're mad, and I have conversations with these people. Like when people say that, I see that some of these people actually do it just to be left alone. They're not even really
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're
mentally
like
ill, but
that.
they realize
Ah,
if I be like that, nobody will see me, nobody will care about me, nobody will take me serious, and I can just be mentally free.
Just be.
That's giving up, and I couldn't give up like that.
mm,
So me conversing and talking with other people that gave up, and people that were in the struggle, and people that never even been in it, like it just I don't know, it made me to who I am today. It made me stop working security. I gave that up, and I said, you know what? I love the camera. Picked up a camera. It was more therapeutic at first,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I realized that I like to create things and I have a vision for things. So like I'm really pushing into that field basically, and I'm not really thinking about money at first, because you will kill your passion if you
Mm-hmm.
involve money in it right away. And I learned that because at first I was just like I said, it was therapeutic for me. But everybody that knows me and knows my story, they want to support everything I do, and they're like, "Oh, how much is it to do this? How much is it to do that?" I wasn't ready for that at first. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was like now I'm thinking about money and I'm undercharging, and now I'm thinking like, no, I don't want anybody using me, because people use people
Mm-hmm.
heavy. And so me being so defensive on that, it didn't kill it, but I felt my passion starting to die.
oh,
So I
deteriorate.
understand that I can't let anything in that before I just that's what I
Separate you
love to
from
do.
your purpose and your
Right.
passion. Yeah.
And I started I get by. I mean, I make money with photography, but I do other things like I drive taxi and stuff like that now, because I get to be by myself. Like I can't. The workforce out here just really drove me crazy, and but it's not like I tell everybody. Like some people take it the wrong way. It's just that I wasn't brought up here. So the money, like, so for instance, my peers in the call center was working at Amazon, but my peers where I grew up at that are working at Amazon are getting paid 20 times more an hour than I'm getting paid. And they're doing less work. It's not my fault. I tried to, like, program myself to, but
Think
it's
like a
like
Jamaican.
I don't want to, and it will affect people, and because people will look at me and say, I want to
You're
be like him because
ungrateful.
this is what happened. And they're like, they stand up for themselves and they're like, wait, we want more money, or because they see what I'm doing, and it's not a good thing, but they look at it as a good thing. Some of them, it makes them step to go towards their goals instead of being locked somewhere else. So like I said, I'm here for a reason. I don't really even question what really happened. I just live. I wasn't living for a lot of the time of that 14 years, and I recently just started living. So I'm actually happy where I'm at. I'm in paradise because a lot of people are actually killing themselves to get a piece of this paradise. And my family left here with no intention on really coming back. And guess what? Just the other day, my sister came in for the first time. And like some of my family members that haven't been here the whole time I've been here, they're starting to. So I said, okay, maybe I came here to bring my family back.
And that's the thing, And that's the thing, like in every situation, like just have to try and find the positives and just look at your journey as your journey. Your journey, not looking at the next person's journey. You know what I mean? So
you can't really focus on the negative. And everybody that I do come in contact with, like people that I do spend time with, like even it's just natural, something I do naturally. They'll pour some negative stuff out, or like whatever's bothering them, and I'm not gonna tell them what they want to hear really, but I'm gonna take something positive out of whatever you told me, and I'll say, here, hold this, and that's all I can do.
Exactly. We definitely appreciate you actually coming and sharing, because like your story is just different on many levels.
Yes, that's
profound.
true.
Like being born in Germany, then going to the US to live in the US, and then
transported to here,
and then get in trouble, and you get shipped back to Jamaica to where you know nothing about. And look at like
it's funny you say ship back. Like a lot of people always say ship back, or when you come back, or I came back.
Ship,
I never
not ship back.
I'll put it this way: people used to like tease me with the deportee thing. Oh, you're a deportee. But you know what I used to always say from the beginning? I said, in order to be deported somewhere, you have to leave there to get sent back. So technically, I'm not gonna look at it like everybody else. So that's why people used to say, how can you sit there and if you really listen to people sometimes and don't listen to your inner self and pray, if you don't do that,
that's
you
true.
get lost. Because I was really there. So like I said, I love where I'm at right now. I have a roof over my head. Like,
love the progress, bro.
Love the progress.
Many persons who other persons who may have experienced similar things would have probably taken a different direction. As you explained, some people have killed themselves, some people have died. But I love that you have fortitude and you have the tenacity and you have the patience to go on and continue to grow. As you said,
your purpose.
the transition from the United States. Yeah, the transition from the United States to Jamaica is different. Currency is different. The way we think is different. The way
of living, everything. Yeah.
But you have traveled on this journey, continue. We thank you so much for coming to share with us. This story can go on and on and on and on because it has so much things.
If you guys want me back, you just let me know and I'll come back and we can get.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and bless up yourself. Thanks. See here.
And keep on a push the way, boy. You know what I mean?
We're proud of you. We're proud of you. That's one thing I want to say. We're proud of you. Bro. Yeah, man. Respect. Later.
All right.
Later.
Good guys.